Welcome to Better with Brii Renee, the podcast where we get real, get honest, and get better, one conversation at a time. Here we talk all things family, faith, finances, and everything that just feels good to the soul. This is your safe space to grow, to heal, and to elevate. Because better isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. So whether you're working on your mindset, your money, or your relationships, you're in the right place. So let's keep it real, keep it light, and most importantly, keep getting better. Because better starts with you, starts with us. It starts with Better with Brii Renee. Welcome to Better with Brii Renee. This is our very first episode, and I'm so excited to welcome you guys on this journey with me. Now, you might have seen me on the movie screens in Scheme Queen, some of your favorite movies, on television in some of your favorite TV shows, or on nationally syndicated talk shows. You might have heard me on the radio. You might have just seen me all over your Instagram and YouTube vlogging, or with my podcast, Mommy and Me. But what you have not seen me do is step out on faith in my very own personal podcast. And that's what Better with Brii Renee is. I'm so excited to premiere this show with you guys. This has been a heartfelt journey, a love project that's been near and dear to me for so long, but I haven't been able to do it for so many reasons. But now I'm doing it. I'm stepping out on faith, and I'm bringing y'all along with me. And Better will be a community, an environment where we continue to grow, evolve, and elevate together, because I feel like we all just want to be better at something or multiple things in our lives, whether it's relationships, finance, family, friendships, getting to the bag, fitness, whatever it is, we gonna grow and elevate together. So welcome to the very first episode of Better with Brii Renee. This segment is called Better Perspective, and Better Perspective is just my opinion on things that I've been seeing online, whether it's trending topics or things that just irk my nerves. Opinions that I gotta get off my chest, okay? And one thing that has really been irking me is how y'all have been cosplaying religions. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though I am Christian, I am not judging anyone that has any other faith, whether you are Muslim, a Buddhist, whatever religion, or you just spiritual. Whatever your religion or religious beliefs and practices are yours. And I'm sure that they differ based off of when you were born, where you were born, what your family was raised in, and even like regions. It differs. So I'm not judging you off of that, but I am judging y'all for the people who go out there and pretend to be things that they not, whether it's for making money on social media or to have a content niche. Like some of y'all pretending to be a certain religion just so you can have a TikTok trend, or follow a TikTok trend. And then what's worse to me is y'all who change y'all religion or pretend to be a certain religion for the clothes and for a man. Okay, you're not gonna keep that man just because you pretending to be Muslim. Okay, stop doing that. You're not Muslim. And it's so sad to me because people have really died based off of their beliefs. They will die and have died for their religion. And you're out here trying to monetize it, capitalize off of it, go viral off of it, or like I said, even more pathetically, just keep a man off of it. He still ain't gonna love you, boo. Okay? Stop cosplaying these religions. Believe who you want to believe in. No judgment there. And it's okay to evolve, and it's okay to even change religions if you have grown and evolved in certain ways. But don't do it for the wrong reasons. Because at the end of the day, how can we trust you? I can't trust nothing you say. If you'll turn your back on God, or if you'll trick the world for some money about God, you'll lie on how you feel about God, you'll lie about anything. I can't believe nothing you say, okay? Cut it out. Okay, y'all, it's time to get into the main topic. And today we're talking about the art of pivot, how to bet on yourself and win. And this is something that I feel like I've been doing a lot, especially in my adulthood. So let's get into it.
Let's go back to the moment you decided to truly bet on yourself. What was the turning point and what was at stake?
I feel like the first time I ever realized I really had to bet on myself and I took a major leap of faith was when I decided to leave my family strip club. I had been waitressing there for almost 10 years at the Blue Flame Lounge. And of course, everybody in the city had known me as, oh, that's the girl who family on the flame. They were coming to me for that. And it obviously was a pipeline that I could have continued to grow and make a career out of it. But something in me was nudging me to step out on faith and believe in myself and pursue a career in entertainment. So I had to save up money, of course, and bet on myself to chase my dreams of being a radio personality and an actress and television host. Now, a lot was at stake with this because I didn't know anybody in the entertainment industry. I didn't have any real connects. I had met one person at the time, which was Tasha Smith. She came into the Flame and she was scouting it as a location for her movie. And I told her that I wanted to be an actress. So she was like, okay, I'll give you a small role in the movie. I did that role, but that scene got cut. So I never really made it in that movie. But she had invited me to be a student at her school, which was Tasha Smith Acting Workshop in LA. She invited me for that. But other than that, I was starting at ground zero. I had met the program directors at 2 radio stations only because I was popping at the time on social media. So I was invited for Model Mondays, and they didn't invite me in as a radio personality. They invited me as just a cute girl. And when I showed up, I had the personality to match. So I then met the program directors. But other than meeting those 3 people, I literally had 0 connects and 0 experience. And of course, my livelihood was at stake because everybody that, if you've ever worked in a club or the entertainment, like the club or nightlife industry, you know you making good money. So to be able to walk away from that and not know where your next check coming from, it's scary. I did save up a lot of money, but at the end of the day, before taking that leap of faith, I was nervous. Like my mom even said, why you want to be a broke ass actor? And I was like, I don't know, but it's burning a hole in me. So I had to step out on faith and believe in myself.
People talk about taking risks, but you talk about calculated risks. What's your personal framework or checklist before making a big life or business pivot?
Before making any big life or business pivot, I have 3 simple questions that I ask myself. And I first ask myself, what's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? Next, I ask myself, are you prepared for that? Can you survive what the worst case scenario is? And then I ask myself, what else have you survived? What other major life obstacles have you overcome? And then the most important question I ask myself is, if you don't leave, if you don't take this risk, if you don't take a chance and bet on yourself, what's going to stay the same? What are you giving up? And then at that point, usually that answer to the third question is big enough to give me the push that I need to go forward with whatever that I'm doing, because I think about it like, going back to leaving the club, if I don't leave the club, then I'll live with the regret of never even trying. I'll just be a waitress and then be stuck in this environment, or I'll run a club. Yes, the money will be there, but will I personally feel fulfilled? I'll feel like a loser because I never even tried. And I don't know about you, but I can't live with that regret. And anybody that's a creative out there knows, if you are made to create, if you have that burning desire in you, it's gonna literally burn a hole in your heart until you try. Even when it comes to this podcast, like I have been having this on my heart for at least 5 years. And the fact that I haven't been able to do it for 5 years, it has literally irked me. It's been in the back of my mind. I've had dreams about it. I have felt regret. I have had so many just sleepless nights of, when are you going to do this? When it's like a never ending cycle of questions and pressure in your head until you actually get to the point that you're able to create and release that. You won't feel satisfied. And I think that peace that you're searching for won't come until you try.
When you're in the middle of uncertainty and the path isn't clear, what keeps you moving forward instead of freezing or turning back?
What keeps me moving forward when I'm in the middle of uncertainty is knowing that I can bounce back from anything. Knowing and looking at my track record of resilience and knowing that I've overcome 100% of the obstacles that's been in my way. Now, whether I always came out on top is a different question. But at the end of the day, I'm still here. I'm standing. I'm still fighting. So, I mean, whether you were success is measurable. I measure success on if I'm still standing, if I came out on top, because even some losses are still lessons. And my vision, that's what keeps me going. It's like, I still have another chance to achieve what's in my head. I still have an opportunity to be who I want to be. I still have the opportunity to overcome and to get to the goal that I have in mind. So those two things keep me going every single time it's hard. Even just like with this podcast, again, I started this a couple years ago and I had to stop because I gratefully got picked for a nationally syndicated show. And at the time, I contractually couldn't do this. Did I give up on the dream? No, I still had the dream and the vision in my heart. So it's like, all right, it's on pause right now, but we're going to come back around to it because that vision is still in your heart. And as long as you have that, you can keep going towards it.
How do you know when it's time to pivot, not just push harder? What are signs that you listen for internally and externally?
I personally know it's time to pivot and try something different and not just push harder towards what I want when I'm constantly feeling drained at what I'm going after. When I look at what I'm trying to achieve and I realize like, I'm not really getting closer to the bigger vision or the goal at hand. Also, I like to flow and not force. So sometimes pivoting is flowing. I feel like when we pushing harder, sometimes God is saying, this is not working, let's try a different way. So you have to learn to like flow with the path of least resistance at times. And you'll know in your heart, and I have to pray on it. I literally pray like, God, okay, if this door not opening, what you want me to do? And then he'll show you a window. If he show you that window, it's like, all right, it might not look like what I want to do, but I'm going to trust you and pivot and do that. Instead of forcing that one way of doing something. Again, I go back to when I was getting ready to lead a club. I would be in there and of course I'm pushing. I could have just pushed harder by continuing to work, to continuing to show up. But I was so drained to the point that I would be sitting in the water heater closet that nobody even knew existed but me. But I would be in the water heater closet for 2-3 hours, the first 2-3 hours of work, like crying, praying, asking God to give me a way. And it wasn't until he showed me that window of, hey, Tasha said, hey, I can come to her acting class as long as I can get there. That was a window. It wasn't 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. I didn't have all the answers, but it was a slight window with a ray of sunlight to let me know that there's a different way that you can try to get to where you want to go, because staying in here is not going to do it. So I asked myself, what am I going to lose? Or I asked myself, what am I trying to prove by staying? And you have to ask yourself, whether you at your 9 to 5 or you in a relationship, or, you are working towards something, you're trying to build your business, ask yourself that question, like, what am I proving by staying? If it's just to say that I didn't quit, is that enough? Or is it to say that, hey, I'm working towards something? That's not enough. Like, you have to know, okay, it's time for me to leave this situation, or it's time for me to pivot my approach to the situation.
Can you share a time when betting on yourself didn't go as planned? Are there things you learned? How did you rebuild your confidence?
I feel like betting on myself hasn't always looked exactly how I thought it would. So when I left the club, I thought betting on myself was, all right, boom, I'm gonna be a star. I'm gonna be an actress. I'm gonna get one role and then that's it. I'm gonna be booked, busy, or once I get on the radio, everybody gonna hear me and it's just up from there. But even though it didn't look exactly how I thought it would, I had saved up $100,000. I thought like, okay, boom, I got $100,000 saved. Before I even get close to running out of money, I'm gonna be booked, busy. Child, the pandemic hit. Okay, nobody was even booking anything. The whole entertainment business had shut down. So it was like I had to literally live off of that savings for a while. It didn't look like what I thought it would. And yes, I was getting booked, I would say consistently in the entertainment industry. Getting booked consistently might look like 2 jobs a year. It might look like 1 job a year, but that 1 job or 2 jobs might not be enough to sustain your lifestyle. So it looked like I had to scale back on my spending. I had to rebudget how I lived my life, and I had to figure things out in the meantime. What are you going to do to make money? Okay, you have to get online. Let's be a content creator. It didn't look as easy as I thought it would be. I really thought that once I got one big breakout role, that was it. But it's like, no, it didn't look like that. And I think that sometimes we have a vision of what success is, but we have to imagine what that is as we go along the way. Because I have to remind myself, the goal was to be able to sustain myself off of being a content creator, being an actress, being a radio personality. Now, I am doing that. So yes, I have reached my goal. But does that look like sometimes, some months, cutting back on how I spend? Does that look like some months being scared about if the bill's gonna get paid? It looks differently, but at the end of the day, I'm still chasing my dreams, and I'm still successful because I'm still creating. I'm still doing what I love. And by the grace of God, I haven't given up on myself, and I haven't had to go get a 9-to-5 or thankfully go back to the club. Looking for the perfect space to bring your vision to life? Welcome to Visionaire Production Studios, where creativity meets capability. With over 10 dynamic sets, including a fully equipped kitchen set, we're built for creators, brands, and dreamers who don't just want content, they want cinema. Whether you're shooting a podcast, cooking show, campaign, or content series, we've got the space and the team to help you make magic and bring any vision to life. If you can see it, we can help you shoot it. Let's turn your vision into production at Visionaire Production Studios.
What's a myth people believe about pivoting that you completely disagree with?
One myth that I think people believe about pivoting is that it means starting over. I don't believe that pivoting means starting over. It means starting from experience. Like, you're just switching up what you're doing. You're taking the same experience that you've already had, because you're never going to forget those lessons. You're never going to forget that experience. You're just using it in a different way. So just like when I had to pivot leaving the club, I met so many rappers, entertainers, actors, actresses in that environment. And I didn't leave that. I didn't start from scratch. I started in a different way. I actually used those same connects to secure interviews, to build relationships in the entertainment industry. So when you're pivoting, you're never starting from scratch. You're just starting new.
You're likely outgrown versions of yourself multiple times. What's the emotional process of letting go of an old identity in order to step into a new one?
There is a very emotional process that comes with letting go of an old identity. I think for sure it comes with grief, because you are watching that old version of yourself die or evolve into another version of yourself. Just like any caterpillar, when they leave that cocoon, they're gonna be like, dang, look at my little shell of the caterpillar. But now I have these big, beautiful wings I can fly with. So I feel like it's very trying on your spirit, because while you will grieve the familiarity of being a caterpillar and being on the ground, you are also going to be excited at times about how now you can fly. And I think that anytime you go into a new territory, our bodies naturally want to cling to the old or something that's familiar, because it's familiar, it's safe, it's what we've always known. Even when it is uncomfortable, we still know that more than we know what's relying or laying on the other side of this new leap of faith. So there comes so much grief, uncertainty, and constant questioning of yourself. I can't tell you how many times I have said, do I need to go back to the strip club? Maybe I should just waitress 2-3 nights out the week. Like, I have cried to my family, baby, can you buy my permit? Like, I have questioned myself so many times. Am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing this? Even taking the leap of faith of this podcast. Like I said, it's been on my heart for 5+ years. And today I'm like, I question myself before pressing record today. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I wasting my money? Do people want to hear from me? Like, you're always going to be afraid of doing something new. That fear is never gonna go away. So you can never wait for that fear to leave to start. You just gotta jump. It's just like if you've ever jumped in a pool or, done anything adventurous like skydiving. I have skydived. I have jumped off a cliff in Jamaica into the ocean. Anytime you jump, you're gonna feel that rush of emotions like, I'm so nervous, I'm so scared. And then you just jump. And then you're going to feel crazy while you're falling. But as soon as you hit safety or you hit that water, you're going to feel like, I did it. Look what I did. And you're going to feel that confidence. So just like that butterfly, like, oh my God, I love my little cocoon. I love my old shell of my caterpillar. But once you get the flapping and you up in the sky, you like, look at me, I'm flying, bitch. I did it. Look at me. And that's how I feel. I feel like even when I go back to the club, like I said, there have been so many times I have been like, you know what, money is low. I need to just go back. Or I ain't booked nothing in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. I need to go back to the club just to have something stable, some consistent income. And I haven't, but then I might go in the club for entertainment, or I might see some girls who used to work with me or even my old customers. And they like, oh my God, girl, you graduated from the club. Look at you. I hear you on the radio. I saw your movie. Or that feeling is like undeniable. It's so confirming. It lets you know, okay, I'm doing the right thing. Okay, I just need to keep believing in myself. Just keep flapping them wings, girl. Just keep flapping. You're going to get there. So I feel like don't beat yourself up if you question yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you have that grief or you're sad about letting that old environment go. I had to go on a fast from the strip club when I left, and I vlogged this. This is on my YouTube. I did a 45-day where I was like, I can't go in nobody club, because every time I go in there, I think about how much money I could be making, or if I should be at the club, or it was so trying. So you have to give yourself the space to grow from those old environments. You have to distance yourself. I had to unfollow a lot of people that still worked in the club just because I didn't want to be constantly reminded of that old version of myself. And I didn't want to be forced to feel like I was doing something wrong by letting that go. You're doing the right thing anytime you step out on faith, or anytime you believe in yourself and you put one foot in front of the other.
How do you balance bold moves with stability, especially when others depend on you?
Okay. It can be really hard to balance bold moves of pivoting, especially when you are grown. You have real life responsibilities. Some people have families, or like whether you have children or just people depending on you, or everybody got bills. So it can be hard to, decide or focus on balancing that stability in the midst of chasing your dreams and believing in yourself. But what I did, and I always recommend doing, is one, creating a cushion. Like I said, I gave myself a year and a half, 2 years where I was like, listen, I'm about to scale back on my spending. I'm creating a strict budget so I can, one, learn how to live below my means right now, so I can save. And I put everything I had extra into this cushion, into this savings cushion, so that would be there for the stability of it all. Now, I'm sure whatever that looks like for you, whether, it's the bills or the childcare or your family members that you might have to take care of, that you have to cater that to what your needs are. But I would say scale back on what you're doing right now, like how you're spending right now. Live way below your means right now. Create a cushion that you feel like can sustain you. And my goal was at least a year's worth of sustainability. And then, because I knew that in my mind, I knew I was just gonna get booked as soon as I quit. But I did have, at that time, I think I was without a job for like 3-4 months before really starting to make some money. So I had a year's worth of savings first, and then those 3 months were taken care of. And then I started to make money, and I used that money to live off of, so I didn't have to dip in my savings as much. So that's what I would say. Scale back, live below your means, create a safe cushion for yourself, and then figure out a way to overlap those hustles. Overlap it so you don't have to go out there completely bold with nothing.
Who can't go with you when you're ready to pivot?
There will be a lot of people that cannot go with you when it's time to pivot. The scared, the doubtful, the fearful, they can't go with you because you already gonna have a lot of those, fears and self-doubt. So you can't take the people who don't believe and who don't see bigger and greater for you. And that might even look like family. Okay, that might look like your best friends. That might look like your boyfriend, your relationship, whoever it is in your corner who don't believe, they can't go at this moment. I remember at one point I had to block my own mother out. I'm telling you, she was like, why you want to be a broke ass actor? Why you want to be a broke ass radio person? They don't make no money. You're going to be struggling, because all she knew in her generation was taught, go to school, get a degree, get a 9-to-5, or work in a sustainable business. So, and I can't fault her for that. That's what she was taught. And that was what was safe to her. But I couldn't take her along this journey with me. I use that though as fuel. Like, I'm gonna show you, okay, I'm not gonna be broke. I'm not gonna be broke. Watch, I'm about to get it. So you can't take those people who are doubting you or feeding you that along the way, because they won't understand and they are just gonna add more uncertainty to your journey. You also can't take people who are stuck in the environments that you're trying to leave. Okay, it was a lot of people, girls that I liked hanging out with, girls that I was cool with that were still working in the club that I couldn't take with me when I left, because they reminded me of the place that I'm trying to leave. So it would be like tug of war on my soul. You can't take those people with you because they're going to continue to make you miss that environment that you're trying to leave. And it's going to make you romanticize a place that you're fighting to get free from. So you have to be able and be brave enough to distance yourself. And it don't mean that I look at you differently or I love you any less to the family and the friends, or that I don't fuck with you the same. I do, but I have to do what's best for me in this time, in this space, because my life depends on it. My dreams, my goals depend on it. And you got to bet on you. At the end of the day, they ain't going to be able to do it. They not going to be the ones that got to live with the regret that you're going to live with if you don't do this for yourself.
When people tell you you're lucky or brave, what do they often not see behind the scenes?
When people tell me I'm lucky, I'm brave, or sometimes even that I motivate them and I'm so inspirational, they don't see a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. They don't see the gut-wrenching decisions. Okay, they don't see the sleepless nights, the hours I spent on my knees praying to God for answers and clarity. They don't see so much of the doubt, the fears that I have. I'm human, just like everybody else. And I have to remind myself this, and I'm letting you know that all of us are capable of bravery. Bravery and courage is literally just 10 seconds of courage repeated over and over again. So whatever it is that you want to do, you really just need 10 seconds of jump in you to get it done. If you can just overcome that 10 seconds of fear, you can do anything. And I feel like that's all bravery is. It's that 10 seconds of insane, deep-rooted courage. Just repeat it until you get to where you're trying to go. So if any of you out there are at a crossroads and trying to decide whether to pivot or to bet on yourself, I hope this episode gives you permission. I hope it gives you courage and possibly even a roadmap, and let you know that it is okay to bet on yourself and to do it with intention, because if you don't, nobody else will. So I asked you guys to submit questions and ask me anything that you need advice on. And you can always continue to submit these questions, whether it's in the comments on the episodes, on my YouTube channel, in my DMs on Instagram, or even in my emails. I'm always open for advice, and I will give y'all those answers. The first question is from one of my YouTube cousins. I love you, cousin, because you are a faithful cousin. I love you so much. But Lovely Jonay on Instagram, she just asked a question that I feel like fits perfectly with this episode. She says, how does she go about pursuing her career in media and entertainment before she's leaving her 9-to-5? What are some steps that she should take? And I would say, again, some of the stuff that I said in the podcast, scaling back, creating a budget, creating a cushion for yourself so that you're not just leaping out with something with nothing to stand on to help you with some stability, but also to create a space or a lane for yourself in the entertainment industry. I love that you're already working with your church doing media, so you're learning the ropes, learning how to do a lot of the stuff yourself, which is important. But now I would say go create your own social media, like build your platform, build your community, whether it's creating a signature series, whether it's starting your podcast or vlogging, whatever it is that you really want to do or how you want to do it in entertainment. Start doing it now and building that community and building the following and the notoriety for being known for that while you're still working that 9 to 5. So you have something coming in, and then continuing to network, going to events, going to meet other people that are doing the same things that you want to do in these environments, putting yourself out there and not being afraid to meet or work with other people who are doing it. And don't be afraid to network across. I think a lot of times we doubt the ability to grow with each other. So go to these events and don't just try to meet the biggest person in the room. Meet somebody who is looking to do the same thing as you, because you never know how y'all can collaborate and grow together. So if you've been following me for a while, you might remember how I used to do Trapformations. It's a signature series that I created, and it's basically affirmations that we got to keep all the way true. Not that fluffy, cute stuff, but the stuff that's really going to hit to home, okay? So today's Trapformation is save yourself so you don't have to settle for less. God always got you, so forget the rest. And that basically means save yourself. Nobody is coming to save you. Whatever you want in life, you're going to have to go after it. Whether it's a better job, a better relationship, more money. If you don't go after it, you're settling for less, and it's going to irk your nerves. And then God always got you. If he put it in your heart, he giving you the ability to go after it. So just believe in him. Put one foot, have the faith the size of a mustard seed. Just put 1 foot out there, take one step, and he got you with the rest. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the very first premiere episode of Better with Brii Renee. I hope that you are leaving feeling better, feeling inspired, and feeling ready to go out there and conquer your dreams and bet on yourself. This has been an amazing episode, and I can't wait to share more with you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you never miss an episode. And you can also listen to us in audio form on all podcast platforms. You guys, tell a friend to tell a friend. They got to be a cousin, join in, and make sure you never miss an episode of Better with Brii Renee. I can't wait to grow with you all.